Hey guys, welcome back to another comic book review here on Toned In Entertainment. Geiger was one of my favorite comic book series that was released back in 2021. And I did review all 6 issues and gave them glowing reviews, and the link to that playlist can be found down in the description. Now here in November of 2023, creators Geoff Johns and Gary Frank have more stories to tell of their glowing man, but this time they're going back to where it all began. So, does this origin story shine, or is it just nuclear waste? Well, let's get on with my comic book review for Geiger Ground Zero Chapter 1 called From Monster to Man and Back Again. The story starts off just 6 months after the bombs, so that's about 19 years before the original story of Geiger that was released in 2021. Here, we've got some Russian soldiers, including the man for creating the bomb in the first place, in hot pursuit of eliminating the glowing man once and for all. Not only do the soldiers want to eliminate Tariq Geiger for their own safety, but each have an agenda, such as trying to reunite with family members in this apocalyptic world. Now, speaking of family, there are several pages of backstory where we get to see Geiger before the first bomb was even dropped. And we get to see the struggles of a man dealing with bone cancer whose future is bleak unless him and his family can move over to Europe to get the treatment that he needs, as it's not offered in the United States for the simple fact that they believe there's not enough people suffering from his conditions, hence there's not much profits to be made. In addition to Geiger's family, we meet a man named Kyle and his family, who are their neighbors, who are a bit concerned about how fragile Tariq Geiger is looking. There's also a scene here where it shows off that Tariq is a doomsday prepper, something that the rest of the guys at this barbecue see as a waste of time, including Kyle. However, after the first bomb drops, Kyle will show his true colors, and he will be very blunt with Tariq that he now wants inside that bomb shelter, and he's willing to do whatever it takes. Now, when it comes to the Russian soldiers, well, some of them are going to bite off more than they can chew, and for the man known as Molotov, he's going to make the surprising discovery that maybe the glowing monster isn't always glowing. Now for my review score for Geiger Ground Zero, issue number 1. The story, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. Now, I was a bit apprehensive going into this issue as it's a prequel, but creators Geoff Johns and Gary Frank's story not only hit on every single page, but every single panel as well. Whether it's watching the Russians trying to seek out the glowing man, seeing the struggles that Tariq is going through before the bombs drop, or watching him defend his territory, every single beat in this issue draws you in, and it's something you don't want to leave. The art, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. Whether it's Geiger lighting up his surroundings to the emotions in the characters' expressions, I've been completely pulled back into this unnamed universe. And not to sound like a softie, but how does your heart not melt when you see Tariq's daughter offering him a can of chicken soup in hopes that he'll feel better? Now, when it comes to the momentum, I have to give it a 10 out of 10 as well. I said that the creators draw you in and you don't want to leave, and all I wanted was more. Now, this is only planned to be a 2-issue prequel series, with the next issue dropping on December 20th. The fun factor? Well, it's going to get a 10 out of 10 as well. Geiger Ground Zero is everything I love about comics. A great story that takes you on a high-speed roller coaster, and when it's done, you just want to get back in line for another ride. Now, while I said this story is only going to be 2 issues, it does appear that starting in January and beyond into next year, if you love Geiger like I do, there's going to be a whole lot more for us to sink our teeth into. Now, did you guys read this issue? And if you did, what are your thoughts? Are you happy that Geiger has made his return? And are you excited for what's to come? Now, I will be covering more Geiger on this channel, so if you haven't already, now is the perfect time for you to hit that red subscribe button so you can stay tuned in here to Toned In Entertainment for future videos.
Subscribe to the channel. Do it. Go now. Do it now.